Okay, so here's my first question for you. Jaguar, tell me about, even just in its simplest form, why you were so driven to make this the name of the project.
I think it really exemplifies what I feel and who I am. Um, just from, well, as you know, we were just talking about my journey and being in this shit for a long time and just, feeling like you're camouflaged in this big jungle that has so much opportunity and um, so many forces to be reckoned with, but maybe you don't feel seen all the time. And so when you feel so focused as a jaguar when it's hunting and you feel like, you want to attack in one swipe and you want to do a great job and you're hungry, and then there's also this other side of the jaguar that has a nice sex appeal to me, and I love the coat, I love the eyes, everything about the animal just feels kind of like something that I identify with strongly. So I think it was an overarching theme of my project, just to feel fierce and, you know, go for things based on instinct instead of tradition, and step into the sunlight a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. And I think also, like, the first track just being Moment, and this being a new moment for you, speaks
Yes.
volumes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I love the video. I feel like the video and also the song can mean a variety of things. It's about sex, but also it can be about, your life.
Yes.
And there's a scene at the end of the video where the guy like disappears into the floor.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you about it. Like, what does
Yes.
that mean to you?
Well, you know what? I think that's just a symbol for us women. I think traditionally the guy is really the one celebrated when there's a multitude of women that he's been sexually or physically involved with. Um, and so I just kind of wanted to take the power back into our own hands and just show a different side of it, that we can do the same thing too, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's no hoe slut shaming. And if we wanted to let someone into our space and entice them and let them live their fantasy and then be done with them and let them sink to the floor, that's perfectly fine too. And so I wanted to show that in an artful way. Um, and the song basically says that also. It's like, this is your moment, this is your time to shine, don't mess it up, but also next,
Mm-hmm,
moving on.
mm-hmm.
So I think I try to do a really good job of portraying that in an artful way, but also leaving it open to interpretation and based on how the person watching it feels and what they want to take from the video.
Yeah. I feel like a song for me that does that for you is Ass Like That. I love that song.
Thank
Because it
you.
honestly came in a point in time in my life where I felt like I was starting to like just work out more, and I could feel my body changing. I felt very empowered by that.
Yeah.
And a lot of like, even just the puns that you would use about like meeting a guy named Jim,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Could you tell me
Yes.
more just about like the place you were in when you wrote that song and the creative process for it?
You know what? I really often write about things that I'm going through, and because I was in the gym so much, I started with a new trainer that December or January, and then I wrote "Ass Like That," and I want to say in early March. Um, I was sore, like I was literally like going through it, and just trying to focus and um, really develop in the body that I wanted for myself, and just focus on my goals. And not that there was anything wrong with my body before. I just wanted those endorphins released. I felt so good after accomplishing something in the gym and feeling like I could commit to something and be dedicated and have a goal and not stop until then. And it just gave me certain discipline as well. So that song, I wanted to kind of give and shed light on those people who, and there's nothing wrong with, people who physically enhance their body through surgery, but there's also a lot of people who can't afford to do so, so the gym is their option in the way that they would feel better about themselves. So I kind of wanted to give those people an anthem, because there is a lot of representation for the other side, where people have just gone to the doctor and nip tucked sewed it up and gotten the dream body. And I think that's not a reality for everybody, but something that everyone can do is start somewhere in the gym. So I think that song is just an important space to fill that void. And it's hard. So I had to think about it. I'm like, you know, it takes a lot to get, you know, see certain results and feel confident in those results and stay consistent, because you know how when you get to a certain goal, it's not the end of it. Like, your body doesn't stay there. You stop. You still have to keep going. And so it's a lifestyle change. And so that I hope that song really gives people the energy they need for every beginning of the year when the New Year's resolution comes and you're back in the gym and all of that.
I'm also curious about just the idea to do like CGI for the Jaguar video.
Yeah.
Is it CGI, or like is that how you would describe it?
Yeah, I think they called it motion capture, and the reason for it was because of quarantine. Not being able to shoot the video.
Yeah, the decision to do the CGI for Jaguar, and even like, what did you learn going through the process of creating that with the team? You know,
that was really, really hard. I mean, not for me because I had the easiest part, but for the director's AOA, we had to start, I think, 2.5 months in advance, 2.5 or 3 months. So it was like, we would get weekly updates on where the video progress was. So this is like definitely a process that it takes a lot of effort. It's not just like most directors would be able to shoot the music video within 1 or 2 days and then take a little bit of time off and then edit it. But this was like, weeks and weeks and weeks of work. So I'm just really thankful for them. But it was motion capture. I'm going to release a behind-the-scenes video of how it happened. But they actually captured my face, making a bunch of different facial expressions. I already had the braids in this dome of all of these cameras. I think there was at least 400 cameras all around me from different angles to make this 3D figure of me. And then I had to put on this scuba-looking suit with all these sensors and do the dance move, which I've called the Jaguar step. I'll be teaching too. I know some of you guys are asking about the dance moves. But I will be teaching the Jaguar step soon in video form, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, this video, we wanted to shoot it in Cuba, but this was in March, early March, and we had plans to go, but clearly the world changed very quickly and we weren't able to do so. But I still wanted to give that Jaguar jungle feel without going. So it was definitely the best solution for that. And I think it also looks really cool because I don't really see that many, motion capture videos. So it feels like technologically advanced for me.
Yeah. And I think it will also be really interesting to see what artists will do, including yourself, just around how, stay-at-home orders and things not being open, how that can actually like spark creativity and can spark, you just to think about how to do things in another way that's still equally as creative, right?
Right. I think that's what Jaguar was, just trying to tap into the other side of creativity that's just not typically what I would have done, but this has caused me to do, but also made a really cool statement and a great result that I feel like I would do more often now. Just open my mind to something new.
Yeah. Okay, one more question before I see what what everyone else has to say. Relationship advice, because you talk about love all the time, and I'm just curious, like, is there anything that you have learned recently? It could even be about like loving yourself, honestly, or like how you navigate the kind of partnership you want to have with someone. Do you have any advice for anyone out there?
Well, you know what? I feel like it is really starting with yourself, and I've discovered that, going into relationships and when I first started dating, I thought my form of love was, acts of service and words of affirmation and giving so much of myself that I receive less. When really it's giving myself so much love, because that actually gives me more of the ability to give love to somebody else. So I've kind of reversed my strategy a bit, and I think it's helped me a lot. And you can't really fully love someone if you're not fully in love with yourself. It makes you too dependent, and you don't want to need anybody, because that when things are optional and you're there, means a lot more than when you're in need of someone and you're you know, it feels more like you're jailed and there is no life without them. And that feels more like dependency than love. So I think that it's important that you're self-sufficient. It's important that you're happy by yourself, fully fulfilled. People always say that you're my other half, which I don't think anyone should ever be half of anything. You should be your 100% yourself, and then let someone else be 100% themselves, and then y'all join together to make a whopping nice big 200%.
What song has the most meaning to you on Jaguar? Or yeah, let's say on Jaguar.
It's really hard to narrow down, but I think generally speaking, the theme of my project definitely applies overall with Jaguar. So you could kind of relate every song to Jaguar as lyrically, because I'm talking about just going for what it is that you want. So every song kind of ties back into that narrative. So I would say Jaguar.
Okay. Let's see. One more question here. I'll make it good. Oh, someone said, can you say something in French? Because your dad is French, right?
That Negro, he don't know no French. He's just mixed. And I took French in high school actually instead of Spanish, but I would rather not mess my image up for you. And when I see you, you can teach me something in French and the way to say it correctly. But my French teacher did say I had a nice accent then. So, yeah. But I'm going to leave that, that was years and years ago. So I'm going to leave that there. And no, my dad don't know no French. He knows.
Okay, I think another general question I'm seeing here is actually people are kind of want to know what is not particularly, I don't think like next, because you should sit in this moment, but but you have this, a lot of what you do and what you've done with your other projects is a part one and a part two.
Yeah.
And so is that something you're like already kind of like have a vision for, or is it more of like, you're just going to kind of wait and see what happens, No,
that's actually what I plan to do. That's why I've been calling this a project instead of an album, is because I have a couple more parts to release. So this is one installment of Jaguar. So by the third part, that will be the completion of my album. So I love giving the music in little parts, also because it gives me more time to really give better visuals, give people a chance to absorb the song. And yeah, I think that these songs deserve that specific attention versus giving a project all 15 or 20 or 30 songs in one. I really want people to live with this. I know people are saying, I've had a few tweets that are like, this is too short, but I think that you should play it again then, If it's too short, start it from the top, run up some streams, listen again and tell a friend. And then, more music is definitely coming.